Hello everyone, welcome to my next video. Today we will be talking about how to set up credit days and credit limit in TallyPrime software. So at the end of the session, I hope you will be able to know how to set up the credit days and credit limit for your customers and what is actually the impact of setting up credit days and limit and how the PDC can overcome the credit limit which we set it for our customers and how to unlock the credit limit. For example, if for a particular reason you want to override the credit limit, how do we do that? These are the main things which we'll be covering in my today's session. Let me take you to the Tally screen. Here we go. So I have a before we enable the credit days and credit limit feature in Tally application, please ensure that you have created the security controls for your company. First, you should have an administrator username and password. Then you should have created your user's username and password. If you know how to set up the administrator username and password and the user's creation, you can refer any of my videos, which is provided in Financial Alley. You can have a look at it and enable those features for your organization. As for this particular demo, I have created a few users. You can see in my screen users and passwords. I have created few users for my demo purpose. Once it is created, you can go and create your customers to set up the credit limit and credit day. I have a customer. I wanted to set up the credit limit and credit days for that particular customer. For creating that customer, I will go to create ledger. I will create by typing their name. Okay, they are under sundry debtors. I have set the credit days for them as 30 days. This option check for credit days during voucher entry. Right now, I will not enable it. Later, I will explain after enabling this feature and then we will post a transaction and see how the impact takes place. I will set the credit limit for my customer here in this particular space. If this credit limit option is not enabled in your system, that means in the F12 configuration, you have not enabled this particular feature. So to enable it, you can go to the F12 configure button and provide credit limit option. You can set it as yes and accept the screen. Once you set it as yes, this particular field will be appeared in the ledger creation screen. Override credit limit using post-dated transaction. This option also I will not enable at the moment. Once we clear the scenario 1, then we will come back to the screen again. We will enable both the options of this override credit limit using post-dated transaction, and also we will check for credit days during the voucher entry. Both the options we will set it as yes, and then we will see how the impact is. Now I have created this customer. Now I will add their TRN number and then I will accept this query. So the customer has been created with the credit days and credit limit. Now let me post a transaction in their name and then we will see how the impact takes place. For posting the transaction, we will go to vouchers. Okay, we will change the date. We will select the customer. For this customer, we have set up the credit limit. I will fill in all this information which is required. Then I will select my ledger, sales ledger. Then I will select the item which I am selling to this particular customer. I will be selling 25 numbers at rate of 7,000. So you can see the credit limit on the left side is 150,000, but my transaction value is going to be 175,000. Let me put a lesser quantity so that I can show you how this really works. I will change it to 20. So the value has become 140,400. Okay, so the credit limit is 150,000 and the value of the transaction is 140,000. we will post this transaction by accepting this entry. You can notice here we are in the billwise details. The moment we select the name, the billwise details, the credit days or the due days, it's not allowing me to move to that particular screen or particular field. The reason is we have set the option check credit days during the voucher entry as no. That's the reason it is not allowing me to move to that particular screen. Now I will save this entry and accept it. I have saved the entry for this particular customer. Now I wanted to raise another invoice on the same day or another day to the same customer. I will give all the necessary information. Now here you can see on the left side, current balance it shows as 140 and the credit limit is 150. Let us see how the next transaction takes place. I will select my item, set quantity as 20, rate I will give as so and so. So the value of the transaction is going to be 46800. Let us see whether it will accept the screen or not. So if you add 140 plus 46, it is coming around 140 400 plus 46 800 equals 187 200. Actually, our credit limit is 150. Let us see whether this transaction will accept or not. I will just enter. I will, you can see the transaction, the current balance of this particular customer is, once you save this entry, it becomes 187 200, but the credit limit for this particular customer is only 150. So we cannot proceed with this particular transaction. You can proceed with the lesser value transaction, but we cannot post the same value transaction. Let us try with the lesser quantity and see. Then we will see how the impact is. So that means we can maximum of 9,000 is what it is allowed. So I will give somewhere around 3. Okay, let's see whether it will accept or not. Yes, it accepted. Right? Again, we will suppose again we are going to make a new transaction with this particular customer. You can see here the credit balance shows 147 420 and the credit limit is 150. That means within that range only you can post that particular transaction. Let us see a scenario of post-dated transaction in reference to the credit limit. So RT Business Solution has given us a PDC check of 100,000. Okay, so I want to consider that 100,000 PDC check at the time of posting the entry. So how do we do the entries in that scenario is what we are going to check. So in that case, what we have to do is we have to go to the alter button, ledger, RT Business, represent CO. Okay, here remember we had set this option as no. Now I will enable this option as yes, and then I will save this entry, save the ledger alteration screen. Then we will post a PDC entry stating that he has given us 100,000. So we will go to vouchers, we will go to receipt voucher, we will change the date, change the date to the check date. We will put it say around 0803/2024 to our bank who has given has given us check against which invoices, against this invoice we have given us 100,000. Okay, I will set this as post dated, and then I will give the necessary information of the check number, which bank it belongs to, all those information I will fill in and I will save it. So when you go display accounts book ledger, RTE solution, when we see his transaction with post dated, we can see total invoice value is 147 and we have a check of 100,000 post dated, right? So what it does mean? So if you enabled this particular option, for example here, ledger RT, if you set this option as yes, Tally will consider their PDC also. That is the reason we are setting this option as yes. So once you set this option as yes, Tally will allow them to post another 100,000 value transaction also. Let us see how that is. We'll go to vouchers now. We will go to sales. Okay. We will change the date to 0762. Okay, we will select the party name. We will select our sales ledger. We will select our product. Select my location. We will select 25. We will select around 10. So it was total value is 70,200. 70,000 is the total value which is coming in. So remember, it was not allowing us to move. The previous screen you have seen, it was not allowing us to move and post a transaction. Right now we will see whether it will accept or not. Okay, so the total outstanding balance is already, current balance is 147. The PDC has not taken here. Okay, so if that option was no, then it would have allowed it only for 2,600 transactions. Now since we have already posted that PDC, let's see whether it will accept or not. We'll go here, we will enter, see it accepted. Okay, so this is how that impact takes place. I hope you got it. Let me restate it. If we have set this option of override credit limit using post-dated transaction, means if the customer is giving you a PDC check, that Tally will consider it and Tally will allow the users to post the transaction of that value. 100,000 extra will be added to it, to his credit limit. That is how it is. I hope you are clear now on this particular thing. Now let us take another scenario. In this scenario, I want the users to know that whenever they are invoicing to any particular customer, if there any of the invoices are overdue, then there should be a warning for that. So let us see how we do that one. So for that, we will go to the alter ledgers. I will select my same party and I will set this option as yes and accept it. So the default credit period is 30 days, and if any invoice is pending from this customer after 30th day, when they make an invoice, it should warn us. So let us see that. We will go to vouchers. I will change the couple of entries since we have already posted. So I will change the period to 30 days ahead of the entry date. So I will put it like 12/3/2024. I will select this particular customer. You can see 3 bills are outstanding. You will get a message, 3 bills are outstanding, and so this will make the user know that there are 3 invoices which are overdue and which are pending from their side. We are not supposed to raise any invoice to this particular customer unless we talk to them, understand what is the concern about the payment, and when we can expect the payment from their side, and then you can take a decision. After consulting with the administrator, we can take a decision whether to continue to invoice this customer or not. I hope you are clear with the credit days and credit limit now. If you have any doubts and clarification, please do write to me or email me. My details are on the screen. So you can, any kind of clarification, you can email me or you can WhatsApp me. Thank you so much for watching.